There are so many things to see and explore near Chattanooga, Tennessee, but this week we're going to check out Chickamauga Battlefield, Cloudland Canyon State Park, the Lodge Museum, and we're going to ride the Incline Railroad all the way to the top of Lookout Mountain. Let's check it out. Our first stop is Lodge Museum of Cast Iron. Lucky, Penelope, Paris.
Yeah.
It's a very strong debate on whether or not to use soap, so much so they even have a voting thing on whether you use soap or no soap on your cast iron. Or use soap. You're supposed to use soap. Just a little bit of soap.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Can
True.
you use... So you swing it? Swing it. You can. You can use it on glass surfaces.
See?
Is your cast iron cookware ruined if it rusts?
No.
Fiction. We've done this a few times with older cast iron. Can you use metal utensils on cast iron cookware? Ooh. I don't think you're supposed to, but I know you can.
Yes.
You can use it. Silicone,
It
wood,
doesn't
and
say.
even metal.
And it doesn't say you're not supposed to.
And it doesn't say you're not supposed to use soap either. Me and 51% of the population believe you can use soap.
It is. It is like 50-50. We have a cast iron walk?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Commemorative.
Great Smoky Mountain, Bass Pro Shop, John Deere. They have a Winnie the Pooh one.
Huh?
It's Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore and Tigger and Piglet. Just 3 hours from start to finish. That's pretty incredible.
I shared my cast iron story. And now it's on the wall.
Oh, and you posted pictures with it.
No, that's not my cast iron. But it looks like my cast iron pan.
It does.
And it's in Louisiana because that's where I bought the pan. That is now with us everywhere we go. Alright. Ready to see the world's largest, biggest, hugest, tallest cast iron skillet? I was reading and I can't remember what it said. It's something like 3,000 eggs. Oh, 12 feet in diameter, 18 feet long, 2.5 feet deep.
14,000 pounds.
And it weighs 14,000 pounds. It's going to be hard to flip the eggs in that. But it did say online, I think something like it cooks like 3,000 eggs or something like that. I don't know. It seems like way more worth it in there.
How many eggs was it?
It's big enough to fry 650 eggs. I think if you scrambled, you could get a lot more in here.
Not if the egg is that size.
Those are ostrich eggs. That completes our tour of the Lodge Museum. And it's just like Disney. You exit the ride into the gift shop so that you buy the stuff.
Let's see what they got.
The next place we visited was Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park.
We are leaving the Chickamauga Battlefield Visitor Center because it is a driving route. There's 8 stops, and he told us it's a 7-mile loop, so it's a little bit longer than we were planning on walking today. But you're allowed anywhere on the battlefield, so you can stop at each stops along the route and then get out and kind of go wherever you want to go. So I do believe the first stop today is Breckenridge's assault.
Where is stop number 2?
I believe it's up here on the right. Stop number 2 is the battle line. The Union monuments along the Battle Line Road mark where federal troops constructed crude breastworks in the early morning hours. Secure in their positions, they successfully halted repeated Confederate assaults.
No, it's just every state and every brigade has a monument, or infantry have it's brigade has a monument here, and it's listed what infantry, whose brigade it was, and then how many officers and enlisted men died on the battlefield. More interesting is that this is for the U.S., the Federal Army, and it doesn't have a state on it, so. The Confederate states all have the state, and then the infantry and the brigade
just have U.S.
And the federal are all U.S. infantry.
Huh.
And tell you what brigade and division and all that.
We're at stop 3, which is the mix-up in Union Command. Would you like to know what happened in the mix-up?
Yeah, I assume it's what's written right in front of me.
Yeah, so he ordered his officers to go to the battle line, but inadvertently created a gap in the line, and that was not good. You're not supposed to have a gap in the line. Do you want to know what stop number 4 is?
Yeah.
Do you have any guesses?
I don't. It's a fort.
Now, remember how we talked about that gap in the line?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where the Confederates broke through that gap and split the Union Army.
There's not really anywhere to stop on this one. They have all these cannons. It was kind of interesting to read about them. I wouldn't have thought, so they have a range of a mile to 3 miles.
Oh goodness.
It just seems very long.
Yep. Stop number 6, the Wilder Brigade Monument.
The good news is it's stairs and it's dark.
Now that we have our flights of stairs in for the day, we are going to stop number 7. So basically, after they split the Union line, the Confederates came through and busted through, and the Union kind of had nowhere to go. And they busted out of the woods and did surprise.
The Confederates did?
Kinda, yeah. That was our tour of the Chickamauga Battlefield.
I think as you go through and realize how many, I think between dead and missing, it was near 10,000 in total between Union and Confederate soldiers. If you were to add in the wounded, nearly a third of every soldier that was here was wounded or dead or missing.
On both sides.
Yeah. I think the inside the museum was kind of interesting because I you don't tend to think about like when the South or when the Confederacy lost the war, it devastated their economy and they didn't come back immediately. So, you know, it was more than, hey, we won the war, you're part of the United States again. It was much more than that.
Yeah. A little bit different than what we've been doing. But
it's just interesting. I think like fact finding is fun, and even though like it's a little bit of a downer, it's still very interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say is I feel like today was a little bit more educational and just kind of seeing the different places and the battlefield and what it looked like, or envisioning what it looked like.
On our next stop, we take the Incline Railway up to the top of Lookout Mountain.
72.7 degree grade.
No, there's no way.
That's what he just said.
72.
It's just stairs. What did you say the incline was? 72 degrees? That's insane.
Well, 72.7% grade, which translates to 65.4 degrees.
65.4 degrees.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to make sure my wife gets up.
You have scared of heights?
Yeah, it's like an awful roller coaster ride.
Oh, yeah.
Awful. This is way safer than a roller coaster.
That is true. It's enclosed.
So I know for a fact that the video will not do that incline justice, but it's a 73% grade, or 70 something percent grade, which equals 63 degrees. But yeah, so I'm gonna turn. I don't know if you can see the base of this hill, mountain, whatever. That's where we started. Hopefully when we get to the observation deck, I'll be able to show you.
This is the original incline car to Lookout Mountain, but it better shows the grade. Just remember, 90% is straight up and down, and you're at 73. It's like basically straight up and down.
It's like 60 something percent. 63, I think, is what he said.
I thought he said 73.
73% grade, 63 degrees.
Oh. Doesn't matter. Still feels like 90.
What's funny is when you get on the car, the whole thing's like leaning back. And when you get here, it's leaning forward.
Yeah.
For the best chances of seeing 7 states, we're on the top observation deck. What we read is you can see 7 states from here, and I mean, what would it be? It'd be Georgia, which would be to my right, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina. So that would be like that way. So Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, which we're in, Kentucky, and then there's theoretically, I guess, 2 more. Anyway, this is pretty beautiful up here.
Once we exited the railway station, we realized that Point Park was only a few blocks away.
It's always fun to stumble upon National Park Service. We did not know this was going to be up here.
So the first one was dedicated down in about 1891. This one's going to be added on around 1894.
Yeah, because we just did that yesterday.
Yeah,
The day
yeah.
before?
So this is like the battle that happens after that.
Okay.
We're going to take a walk through and see what we see. I think it's fun to stumble across stuff like this because you didn't know you were going to see it. Most of the time, you kind of have this plan of what you're going to do, and then sometimes you have a plan of what you're going to do, and there's an update to that plan.
This is where they should have put the tower. that we
Holy
climbed-
mackerel.
that we climbed yesterday. I mean, someone had to get all the way up there.
One of the things that I said at Chickamauga Battlefield was I do like that they're really just telling the story of what happened. It's not like at Chickamauga they talked about slavery in the South, and they talked about how without slavery it decimated the economy of the South, and it's not a pro or a it's not for, it's not against, it's not judging what was happening 180 years ago. It's just telling the story of it. And I think it's the same thing when you come here. It's very similar to Normandy. When we were in Normandy, and there's German cemeteries and there's Allied cemeteries, and it's a very interesting dynamic that when you come to a historic site, there's no debating right and wrong. It's just, this is what happened. Like on one side of this monument is Confederate, like what Confederate armies were fighting. On the other side is the Union armies that were fighting. And then on both sides, there's like a little bit of the story as to what happened. But from what I was reading a minute ago, this was kind of the end for the Confederacy.
Yeah.
Was here in Chickamauga and Chattanooga battlefields. So my question is, does it stop? So does this motor only drag it up the incline and let it down the incline, and then it powers itself, or is this all the way up and down?
We can ask him. I have no idea.
It's sort of unbelievable.
Here you go. Watch your step as you board.
Thank you, sir.
Well, guys, welcome to the Incline. Please stay seated for the full duration of the trip. If you have any questions at all, you can feel free to ask.
That's all for the Lookout Mountain Incline Railway. It was kind of fun. It was interesting, and we were pleasantly surprised by Point Park at the peak.
Lookout Mountain.
Finally, we took a hike at Cloudland Canyon State Park.
One of the things we try to do when we're in these places is find a place to hike or do something other than be at the campground. Today we're out at Cloudland Canyon State Park, and we're doing the waterfall trail. So it's about 1.5 miles, and it's 600 stairs
Correct.
down, which means
600 stairs up.
so it's gonna be super fun coming back up, but we're just trying to stay on the trail right now.
And they said dogs, while they could make it, the stairs are metal grates, and so the dogs, like the feet wouldn't be great. Our dogs can wear booties; they're just not a huge fan of booties. So that would be, if you do take the dogs, something to consider.
Yep.
Let's head down these 600 steps.
Heading down to Cherokee Falls. Cherokee Falls was a pretty easy,
That's
I guess,
cool.
hike down to it. Yeah. And we hung out for a couple of minutes, and now we're moving on.
So
And what's the other falls called?
That was Cherokee Falls.
What's the other one?
The other waterfalls.
Who knows what they're called?
I'll tell you in a minute. Give me about 15 more steps. Stairs.
Stairs. All right, heading on to Hemlock Falls. More stairs. It feels like an endless supply of stairs.
I figured if we go fast down on the way up, since we want to take breaks anyway, it's worth looking around. Have to stop.
I mean, I think in theory I can hear them right now.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think you're really just kind of looping back, but going nearly straight down.
Yeah. What? We just got to Hemlock Falls.
I'm not out of breath. Just taking a little rest, soaking it all in.
It's a lot of stairs coming down, which I assume are going to be a lot more fun going up. But for now, we're going to soak in the scenery and the waterfall because we're the only people here right now. They knew we were coming because they put in rest stops. We basically hiked to the bottom of that canyon and then back out. We got down to both waterfalls and back up with a little detour and a little under 2 miles and a little over an hour. I think they had a plan up there that said plan on an hour and a half each way.
No, I think it was 2 hours, like 2 hours out and back.
2 hours out and back. So I feel pretty good about it.
we had an amazing time seeing all the sights in Chattanooga, Tennessee. But what did we miss? What should we put on our list for next time?
Thanks for watching.
That's my line.
Okay, say it.
Thanks for watching.